When snow begins to fall, the world is wrapped in a blanket of peace. But that peace can quickly turn into chaos when nature unleashes its fury. What begins as beauty often becomes a warning. From frozen winds to crashing waves, every moment tells a story. In Michigan, a falling chunk of ice smashed through a windshield, an unwelcome winter surprise. Elsewhere, graceful moves on icy terrain become dangerous reminders of how unforgiving winter can be. At a Greek airport, jets land just meters away. From onlookers, the thrill is real, but so is the risk. Suddenly, doors slam as giant waves hit a military base in the Marshall Islands, forcing everyone inside. In Italy, a calm snowfall at a ski resort is interrupted by an electrical burst, lighting up the cold silence. A family sits down for an outdoor meal, only to be greeted by a blast of snow, nature's unexpected topping. Nigh on Donner Summit, patrol teams carry out silent avalanche control missions, life-saving work hidden in the snow. In another scene, ice and snow crash from rooftops in a sudden wave of white power. In Lake Michigan, fierce waves sculpt perfect ice balls. Turning a shoreline into a gallery of frozen art, a Colorado family gets creative, turning their yard into a snowy movie screen, complete with toilet paper effects. At Niagara Falls, ice creates a magical scene, mesmerizing visitors. In northern Maine, rivers spin, pancake-shaped ice circles, a strange and beautiful phenomenon. At the Nashville Zoo, winter introduces a new star, a tiny Scottish Highland calf. Suddenly, a tornado hits Christchurch. Buildings collapse, debris swirls, and the peaceful city becomes unrecognizable. In Russia, powerful winds rip through a town, lifting everything into the air. Coral Springs faces the same fate as tornadoes and heavy rains tear through the area. Chicago's pier lies frozen beneath a thick coat of ice, while a fountain in Italy becomes a natural sculpture during a hard freeze. In the Rockies, hikers witness an avalanche rushing down the mountain like a wave. Dash cams capture another moment when snow barrels down a narrow road, covering everything in seconds. A simple act, brushing snow off a roof, sets off a huge avalanche in a parking lot. In Greece, a tornado slams into an olive oil factory, leaving destruction in its path. A major storm hits Texas, forcing shoppers at Walmart to run for cover as sirens wail. Parrots in the outback hover around a car, curious and playful. Thousands of sheep march down a highway in Idaho, turning the road into a woolen river. In Utah, controlled avalanche blasts shake the slopes of Cottonwood Canyon. Strong winds hammer Point Orlando Resort, bending trees and tossing debris. An enormous avalanche consumes a ski resort in Utah, turning daylight into a blur of white. Luckiest snow buries Nineveh, New York, transforming it into a frozen dreamscape. On Lake Superior, pelicans glide over water, fishing with elegant precision. In Vancouver, locals clear snow using hockey sticks instead of brush, this Canadian problem-solving at its finest. In Switzerland, an avalanche spills across a mountain road, while in Italy, snow and debris engulf a quiet town in moments. A herd of elk strolls through a neighborhood, checking out yards like curious guests. Cracking ice on Lake Superior creates a haunting melody, a chilling song only winter can compose. In Lincoln, Nebraska, a tornado roars through the city, turning calm streets into chaos. Meanwhile, people in Washington, D.C. turn a snowy day into a massive snowball fight, connecting through shared joy. In Washington state, waking up to a sheet of ice on your car window becomes a dreaded ritual. Along the Atlantic coast, ice creeps inland, covering sidewalks and homes. A tree collapses on a power line in Pittsburgh, causing a sudden fire. Even in cities like Hakata, nature finds ways to surprise us from the ground up. The Coast Guard battles frozen rivers with icebreakers to keep transportation running. Lightning splits the sky in a terrifying count. In Toronto, Raptors fans wakeboard through icy waters in full gear, dedication on another level. In Helen, a landslide nearly wipes out a car. A fire tornado spins across the sky like something out of fiction. Cheers rise from a pier as a rescue boat saves a capsized vessel, only for it to flip again in an unexpected twist. A man falls from a ladder but lands safely in a bushluck on his side. In another challenge, a 4x4 fails to move a hay bale, proving that even simple tasks can become impossible in nature's playground. A tornado rips across a highway in Texas, a reminder that danger doesn't wait. One man straps fans to his back in a DIY cooling system during a heat wave, showing how far people go to adapt. Venetians wade through floodwaters with humor, finding light even in hardship. A fire hydrant erupts, soaking nearby cars and turning a street into an accidental water park. Love appears quietly, a hug, a smile, no words needed. On the coast, a baby whale surfaces near a boat, a mysterious and heartwarming visit. In Greece, a boulder crashes onto a beach, revealing the hidden risks of steep cliffs. Large hail shatters windshields, and a falling rock injures a driver, proof that luck and timing can save lives. Sinkholes open suddenly. Earthquakes trigger explosions. Freezing pipes become everyday struggles for families. A dam collapses in Dunlap Lake, and lightning strikes a phone. Still, people carry on. Soccer fans cheer in a snowstorm. Avalanches fill mountain tunnels. Landslides sweep through Italian towns without warning. A baby, less than 24 hours old, is caught on camera. New life, a new moment. Massive waves crash on Pacifica's shores, knocking people down and reminding everyone just how powerful the ocean can be. Treat falls on power lines, sparking a fire. Hidden surprises await, even in the most modern cities. Dicing operations keep traffic flowing on frozen rivers. People cheer a rescue operation until it takes a funny turn. A man's fall becomes comedy. A tractor's U-turn ends with lost wheels. Even in failure, there's something to laugh about. As nature rages, people adapt, survive, and sometimes thrive. From fires to floods, blizzards to tornadoes, every scene tells a story of power, resilience, and wonder. Through all this, there are hugs, laughter, and awe, because in the end, no matter how wild it gets, nature always finds a way to surprise us. As winter takes hold, its touch transforms the world. Gentle snowflakes drift from the sky, settling quietly on trees and rooftops. But that same beauty can shift in an instant, becoming wild, unpredictable, and dangerous. In one moment, a calm street becomes a disaster zone. A windshield shatters under the weight of a falling ice chunk. What looked like a quiet snowfall becomes a costly surprise. Elsewhere, a child's playful sled ride turns into a near miss, reminding everyone that speed on ice is never safe. Cameras capture jetliners landing alarmingly close to bystanders at a Greek airport. The engines roar past only feet away. Thrilling, terrifying dance between man and machine. Near a military base in the Marshall Islands, waves surge with sudden force, slamming against the shore. Chaos erupts. Shouts fill the air as doors slam shut and people scramble for safety. In the Alps, a ski resort blanketed in snow is suddenly lit up by a loud electrical explosion, proof that even the calmest places are never truly still. Families enjoying winter meals outdoors are met with frozen gusts and piles of snow falling from trees. In higher regions like Donner Summit, avalanche control teams silently patrol, working to prevent catastrophe before it begins. Nature doesn't always warn before it acts. A thick sheet of snow slides off a roof without warning, crashing down like a mini avalanche. In Lake Michigan, chunks of ice roll onto the shore, shaped into perfect spheres, silently drifting in from the freezing waves. In Colorado, creativity meets climate as snow is turned into a massive outdoor projector screen. In contrast, at Niagara Falls, the frozen mist creates an entire landscape of ice, as if the waterfall itself has turned to crystal. On a quiet river in Maine, ice circles spin, slowly pancake-shaped and surreal. Meanwhile, at the Nashville Zoo, a newborn calf brings warmth and joy to the freezing zoo grounds. But cold doesn't mean calm. Tornadoes touch down unexpectedly, turning entire cities into scenes of destruction. In Christchurch, entire buildings are torn apart. In Terrablis, debris flies through the air as storms lash the region with fury. Sudden weather shifts bring flash floods and rainstorms to areas like Coral Springs, where roads become rivers in minutes. In the middle of it all, nature builds its own frozen monuments. Chicago's lakeside turns to solid white. And Italian villages see fountains turned into towering ice sculptures, far away in the Rocky Mountains. A group of climbers looks up to find an avalanche racing toward them. Their awe turns to fear as the snow rushes down like a white tidal wave. Dashcams capture similar events on narrow roads, where one moment of stillness is replaced by a blizzard of snow and debris. It doesn't take much, just a nudge. A shovel of snow from a rooftop is enough to trigger a parking lot avalanche. In Greece, a tornado tears through a factory, flinging metal and machinery in all directions. In Texas, shoppers run for their lives as winds tear through a Walmart parking lot under multiple tornado warnings. In the Australian outback, bright green parrots fly curiously around parked cars. In Idaho, sheep move in endless rows across a highway, part of a migration that paints the road with motion. In Utah, deliberate avalanche blasts boom across mountainsides, sending controlled waves of snow down the slopes. At Point Orlando, powerful gusts of wind knock over signs and shake the area. A snowstorm suddenly transforms a sunny resort into a gray blur of flying snow. Nineveh, New York becomes unrecognizable after a lake-effect snowstorm buries every street, house, and car. Pelicans float over Lake Superior, their formation like a water ballet against the cold backdrop. In Canada, hockey sticks become windshield tools because winter demands creativity.